Hey everyone, this is Ms. Miner with our lesson for today on 5-3 of when you estimate and you're using rounding rules. So make sure you pause the video and write down the essential question in your first column of how can you use rounding to estimate when you multiply. Make sure if you need extra help you rewatch the video, pause it as many times as you need to, and also make sure that you go to pearsonsuccess.net. So the rounding rules, let's make sure that we remind ourselves of what we do when we round numbers. Remember, if the number that you circle, that's the neighbor of whatever place value you're rounding to, if it's 4 or less, you don't change the number. It stays the same. If you round to the neighbor and put it in the circle and it's 5 or more, you need to make sure you bump your neighbor up 1. Alright, so let's take our rounding rules and multiply 39 times 5. We're rounding to the nearest 10, so you underline your tens place, and you go next door. Make sure you circle that 9. Now, it is more than 5, so we know that when we round, 9 is going to change the 3 to a 4, then everything from a 0 to the right. From the circle to the right, we make a 0, and then we didn't do anything to the rest of our problem, so we have to recopy it down. Now, it's the same thing of what we did yesterday. Find the basic fact. What is 4 times 5? And you write your product. 4 times 5 is the same as 20. Then you go back and you circle your zeros. We have one more 0, so we need to write it in our product. The factors of 40 times 5 is the same as 200. Make sure you underline whatever place value you're trying to round to, and then do the multiplication when you are doing estimation. So let's try another one. This time let's try to round it to the nearest hundreds place. Underline your 3, which is in your hundreds place value, and you go next door. Circle the 1. Now, the 1 is less than 4, so we will not do anything to our 3. The 3 is going to stay the same. Everything from where you circle to the right becomes a 0. And then we just bring down the rest of our problem so that we can multiply now. Same thing from yesterday. Find the basic fact. 7 times 3. We know that 7 times 3 is the same as 21. So record that in your product. Then circle all the zeros that you have. We have 2 zeros, so we're going to write 2 zeros in our answer. Make sure that you also separate your ones period from the thousands period. So when you are rounding using estimation, 7 times 314 rounded to the nearest hundred becomes the equation 7 times 300. Now the number sentence, then you find the product 2,100. Make sure you copy these problems down in your third column. And if you think you know what the steps are, make sure you write that in your second column of your Avid notes. Now let's take a look at this next problem. 814 times 3 is close to what number times 3? Well, for this one here, we're also going to round to the nearest hundred. So if we round 814, mark the place and look to the right, the 1 is going to make the 8 stay the same, and the rest from the 1 over becomes zeros. So, in the problem, 814 times 3 is close to what number sentence? It becomes 800 times 3. Now here are some problems I would like for you to try on your own. And I even underlined the place value that you need to round to. 77 rounded to the nearest 10 times 8. 602 rounded to the nearest 100 times 9. 249 rounded to the nearest 10 times 4. Try those problems on your own. Go back and rewatch the video if you need to in order to help you solve these products. And then bring your notes in tomorrow to class and we'll talk about what you were able to figure out. And as always,